Stay tuned for the show. Paul's up in Las Vegas. It's the KCAA Morning Show.
Thank you so much, Nick. We're here live at the Consumer Electronics Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Had some great events going on yesterday. We had the unveiling. We had a couple of press conferences that we went to, finding out the state of the trends here in the consumer electronics. And we're joined right now, live in Las Vegas. Joining us right now is Tim Doyle. And Tim is a senior manager of communications here at the Consumer Electronics Association. Tim, welcome to the program. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, Tim. Now, this is amazing. The show officially starts tomorrow, but there's a lot of things that went on yesterday and even today. And let's talk about some of the things that may come out of this show for our consumers out there who are listening.
Sure. I mean, I think what we're going to see is a continued trend in smartphones and tablets. That's two very, very hot product categories. You'll see some new exciting developments in TVs, and you'll broadly see more and more services and equipment that's customizable. So whether it's using your tablet to be your remote control watching TV, really sort of the interaction between all those devices is something that we think is a very important trend that you'll see at this year's show.
Definitely, and we're here live in Las Vegas, and they're still setting up all the booths and everything, so I know you hear like the forklifts in the background, but that shows you that we're live here in Las Vegas, and remember, what's done in Vegas stays in Vegas. So the sound that you hear, don't repeat it. It's out there right now. But Tim, one of the things that we're looking at here too is that how we're starting to see things evolve when it comes to technology. And I was joking around with a couple of my co-hosts who are back in the studio with us right now about one day we may even see some AIs walking around, just how technology is.
You never know with technology. Innovation is something that you certainly can't see. I think many of the trends in the industry no one had foreseen years ago, and that's the exciting thing about it. We're very excited about this year's show. All that noise you're hearing in the background is a huge undertaking, because this year we're going to have more than 1.8 million square feet of exhibit space, making it our second largest show in history.
Wow.
And we'll have more than 140,000 attendees.
Wow, that is amazing. I know back in studio, Aaron Brinker, one of my co-hosts back there, she's into technology like I am. We're both professed geeks. So Aaron Brinker, you got a question back there for Tim Doyle?
Well, so what I heard you say tablets are, and maybe you can't talk about this until tomorrow, but I know that you said that tablets are big right now, and I have a Galaxy Tab, and I love it. And we also have, my kids use the iPad, and they love that. Are there new tablets coming out, and what do they look like, and what can we expect?
Sure. I mean, tablet sales we saw rise 157% last year, so it is sort of the hot category. I think what we're going to see at this year's show, we don't know for certain because many of the companies are announcing today and tomorrow those products. But one thing we think we're going to see is lots of 7-inch tablets. So it's basically a screen size somewhere in between your smartphone and, say, a Galaxy or an iPad. We think that's going to be an intriguing size and form factor that we're going to see here at this year's show.
I have a 7-inch tablet, and I like the size. It's the Galaxy Tab 7-inch, and I can use my thumbs to type with it, and I love that. I can't do that on my iPad.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great size, and we think we're going to see more tablets in that size, because last year we sort of saw the more 13, 11-inch size be announced at CES. So lots of exciting developments with tablets.
Now, I saw yesterday Fujitsu had their tablets and their cell phones, and the neat thing was they were water resistant. I mean, you could dump it in water and nothing would happen to it.
Oh, see, that's great for teenagers.
And also good for wives when they're mad at their husbands, too.
Yeah. But it was only available in Japan and not available here, but I guess that's what they're going to be announcing soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think you see durability in products as something that's it's an important feature for people. I saw there's a great Lenovo laptop last night that had the Gorilla Glass, and it was under 4 pounds, and you could stand on it.
Yeah, let's talk about the Gorilla Glass. I just saw that, and somebody said like you could throw anything at that.
Yes, it's a technology that's Corning developed it years and years ago, and they had no use for it for many years because everyone just had sort of the old desktop computers. There was no real market need for that glass, so it sort of sat on the shelf for years and years, and then once we saw tablets well, specifically first sort of smartphones emerged in the market, there became a need for that type of durability in the product. So it's something that's it's being adopted more and more in these devices, and I think that's great. On a personal level, I crashed on my bike once and completely shattered my iPhone.
I noticed you don't have one now.
No, I have it in my pocket.
Oh, you still okay?
And thankfully, I had the insurance plan, so I didn't have to pay through the nose to get a new one. But I think it's something that's definitely important to people. Another thing that we think is important, I mentioned that Lenovo laptop energy is something that's actually important to people, and our research has shown that. So that's a very cool laptop that has dual modes, so it can switch off Windows and just put you into a media player mode where you can, browse the web, check your email, watch videos, and it takes
awesome.
That's awesome.
It takes the battery life from 5 hours to 10 hours. So that's something that's important to people, and of course, it's also a great environmental story.
That sounds so good.
And then they also have now web TV, right? There's a lot of where they're integrating the TVs to be enabled with the internet.
The smart TVs, right?
Absolutely. We're seeing more and more of that. That really sort of debuted in mass last year, and I think we're going to see it more and more in TVs. I think people want that interactivity. They want to do Netflix. They want to do Facebook. They want to have those options. And with that trend, we also sort of expect to see some sort of innovations in the remote control. For many years, you had the cell phone, right, with just the keypad, and then now we're seeing, whether it's touchscreens or keypads in smartphones, that certainly makes more sense given the functionality of those devices. So with the TV having internet integrated stuff, you're going to see sort of more keypads built in the remote, more sort of peripheral accessory devices to access that content, or use existing devices that you have, whether it be a tablet or a smartphone.
That's so awesome, man. You're just tuning in to the KCAA Morning Show here on NBC News Radio, AM 1050 KCAA. I'm Paul Lane with Aaron Brinker, John Watanabe too, and we're joined by our entertainment reporter, Aaron Michael Sanchez, who's with me live here in Las Vegas, and we're talking to Tim Doyle, as the Senior Manager of Communications here at the Consumer Electronics Association, and they are the company who is responsible for putting on the CES show. And Tim, one of the things that you brought up about the smart TVs and everything with the web technology, at our radio station, we're launching a couple of channels where people can even watch us in studio. So that's going to be cool now, so our listeners can not only hear us, but also now watch us. Now, with that technology, that's truly going to change the game with the way we watch things on television and how we basically entertain ourselves.
Absolutely. I mean, I think what you're doing there is you're sort of empowering the consumer to make their own choices. So the barrier of entries drop, and it's very exciting for consumers because then they can sort of customize, their content and accordingly which devices they use to access that content.
And that's created a huge problem for the networks. I mean, they're all wondering how they're going to, again, it's all about advertising dollars, and if you're taking people away from your network and now they're going online, so we're going to see a big paradigm shift happen in between all the big networks and the online community, so it'll be some interesting years ahead.
Sure. I mean, the research that we've commissioned indicates that about 75% of consumers aren't interested in canceling their sort of traditional TV service, but yet still want some access to those kind of services and content. But yes, it's certainly an exciting development, and I think that it's something that everyone wants.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Now, Tim, will that change the game, like with the Nielsen ratings and also Arbitron when it comes to radio? They're going to have a new type of organization or service that can track all this, right?
I would think so. In my former life, I was actually a reporter who covered the cable industry.
Oh,
so
nice.
I know a little bit about this. I think, not speaking in sort of a CEA capacity, from what I understand, those services and ratings are now looking at ways to sort of access how people are watching content in real time and getting, that type of thing. But it's certainly a very, very interesting question in terms of measuring how people watch content and access content. And that's one thing that's great about the internet, is that you can really measure and see, how you're doing. I know that just in my own capacity at CEA in terms of promotional efforts and things along those lines.
So you have a Facebook then?
We have a Facebook.
And you can see what people are doing in real time, not filling out a diary, so many days after the fact.
Right.
Real time, what they're doing.
That is so true. And Aaron Brinker, this is amazing because because I know you're heavy in technology like I do, and that's basically how we communicate with a lot of our clients and everything. And Aaron, just think the way things are going right now. It's truly amazing.
My son and I had a conversation yesterday. He loves BBC shows, and specifically, he loves the show Sherlock. But you can't watch it when it comes out in England. You have to wait until it comes out in the United States, and how much of a pain that is. And as the world becomes flatter and technology is it's everywhere from the palm of your hand to your home, as we know. Those rules are going to have to change. And we talked about not only the networks, but how things are shared across international borders is going to have to change too.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. And Tim, as we wrap this up, anything out there you'd like to say to our listeners out there who are tuning in, who are just waiting for more technology and things to come?
Sure. There are lots of product announcements at cesweb.org. So if you want to check out what's sort of going on at the show, that's a great resource. You'll also, of course, see lots of announcements through lots of media outlets. So lots of interesting news to come out of the show in the next day or two, and we're very excited about it.
I might add, CES does have an international CES Facebook page.
Yes,
Go
we
check
do.
it out. You have like 50,000 fans
We
already.
do, and Twitter as well. It's very exciting. Lots of news coming out of there as well.
And we've posted a link to our KCAA Radio Facebook page, as we always do. So if our listeners are not able to check it out right now and they don't remember the name of the website, they can go to our Facebook page and get the link.
It sounds good. And Tim, we look forward to having you on again, my friend, okay?
Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you so
pleasure.
much.